The rain poured heavily over the city as 12-year-old Noah stood outside a bakery shop, staring through the glass window. Inside, people laughed and enjoyed warm meals. His stomach growled with hunger. Noah's clothes were old and soaked from the rain. He had not eaten since the previous day. His mother was sick at home, and he spent most of his time looking for small jobs to earn money for medicine and food. As he stood there, the smell of fresh bread filled the air. A wealthy businessman walked out of the bakery carrying several bags of food. Noah gathered his courage and spoke softly. "Sir, could you please spare a piece of bread?" The man looked at him for a second. Then he frowned. "Get a job instead of begging." The businessman walked away without another word. Noah lowered his head. The words hurt more than his hunger. A few moments later, an elderly woman came out of the bakery. She noticed the boy standing in the rain. "Are you hungry?" she asked gently. Noah nodded. Without hesitation, she bought him a meal and a warm cup of tea. The boy's eyes filled with tears. "Thank you." The woman smiled. "Promise me something." "What is it?" "When life becomes better, help someone else." Noah nodded. "I promise." Years passed. Life remained difficult. Noah worked countless jobs while caring for his mother. He cleaned tables, delivered newspapers, washed cars, and carried boxes at markets. Many people doubted him. Many told him he would never succeed. But Noah never forgot the old woman's kindness. Whenever life became painful, he remembered her words. Help someone else. At 16, Noah started repairing old computers in a tiny rented room. He spent nights learning from books and free online resources. Customers were few. Money was scarce. Sometimes he wanted to quit. But he kept going. Years later, his small repair service grew into a technology company. Then another company. Then another. Eventually Noah became one of the youngest successful entrepreneurs in the country. His businesses employed hundreds of people. Newspapers wrote about him. Television channels invited him for interviews. People admired his success. Yet Noah never forgot where he came from. One winter evening, he visited the old neighborhood where he had grown up. The streets looked smaller than he remembered. As he walked past the bakery, memories flooded back. The rain, the hunger, the businessman, the elderly woman. Suddenly he noticed an old homeless man sitting near the bakery entrance. People passed by without looking at him. Noah stopped. The scene felt familiar. He bought food and sat beside the man. They talked for over an hour. Before leaving, Noah handed him enough money for shelter and warm clothes. The old man began crying. "Why are you helping me?" Noah smiled. "Because someone once helped me." The next day, Noah decided to create a foundation for struggling families. His organization provided food, education, and medical assistance. Thousands of people received help. Many children who once felt hopeless were given new opportunities. One afternoon, Noah attended a charity event organized by his foundation. Hundreds of guests filled the hall. During the event, an elderly woman approached him slowly. Her hair was completely white. Her hands trembled with age. But her smile felt strangely familiar. "Do you remember me?" she asked. Noah looked carefully. Then his eyes widened. It was her, the woman from the bakery. The woman who had bought him a meal many years ago. Tears immediately filled his eyes. Without thinking, he hugged her. "You changed my life," he whispered. The woman smiled. "No, Noah, you changed your own life." "No," he replied. "If you hadn't helped me that day, I don't know where I would be." The woman looked around the hall. Families were smiling. Children were laughing. Volunteers were helping people. "You kept your promise," she said softly. Noah could barely speak. Years ago, she had given him a simple meal. Now her kindness had reached thousands of lives. At the end of the event, Noah invited the woman onto the stage. The audience applauded. Holding back tears, Noah shared the story of the rainy day outside the bakery. The entire hall listened in silence. Then he said, "People think success comes from money, talent, or luck. Sometimes success begins with a single act of kindness." The audience stood and applauded. Many people were crying. The elderly woman smiled quietly. She had never expected anything in return. She had simply helped a hungry child. Several years later, the woman passed away peacefully. Noah attended her funeral. Afterward, her family gave him a small envelope she had left behind. Inside was a handwritten note. It said, "Kindness is like a seed. You may never see where it grows, but one day it becomes a forest." Noah read the words again and again. From that day forward, he framed the note and placed it in his office. Whenever challenges appeared, he looked at it. And whenever someone asked him the secret of his success, he always gave the same answer. Never underestimate the power of kindness. One small act can change a life forever. Because many years earlier, on a rainy afternoon, an elderly woman had given a hungry boy a piece of bread. And that simple act had changed the world for thousands of people. Heart. The following year, Noah's foundation expanded across several cities in the United States. What had started as a small effort to help struggling families had now become a source of hope for thousands of people. Every morning, Noah visited one of the community centers built by his organization. He enjoyed meeting children, listening to their stories, and reminding them that difficult circumstances did not define their future. One cold winter day in Chicago, Noah noticed a young boy sitting alone outside a shelter. The boy looked familiar because he reminded Noah of himself many years ago. His clothes were worn out, and his face showed signs of hunger and exhaustion. Noah sat beside him. "What's your name?" he asked. "Jacob," the boy replied quietly. "Why are you sitting out here alone?" Jacob looked down. "My mom lost her job. We don't have anywhere else to go." For a moment, Noah could not speak. The memories of his own childhood came rushing back. Without hesitation, Noah helped Jacob's family find temporary housing through the foundation. He also arranged school supplies and food assistance. Before leaving, Noah handed Jacob a backpack filled with books. The boy smiled for the first time. "Thank you, sir." Noah smiled back. "One day, when you're successful, help someone else." The words were the same words he had heard years ago from the elderly woman outside the bakery. Months later, Jacob's mother found a stable job. Their lives slowly improved. Stories like Jacob's became common. Every day, Noah witnessed people rebuilding their lives. Some families escaped homelessness. Some students earned scholarships. Others started businesses of their own. Each success story reminded Noah why he had never given up. One evening, Noah received an invitation to speak at a large university in New York. Thousands of students attended. When Noah stepped onto the stage, the audience applauded loudly. They expected him to talk about business success and wealth. Instead, Noah told them about hunger. He told them about sleeping without food. He told them about rejection. And he told them about the elderly woman who had bought him a simple meal during a storm. The auditorium became silent. Many students were moved to tears. At the end of the speech, a student stood up and asked, "What was the most important investment you ever made?" Noah smiled. Everyone expected him to mention a company or a business. Instead, he answered, "The most important investment was kindness. One act of kindness changed my entire future." The audience rose to their feet in applause. After the event, hundreds of students signed up to volunteer with his foundation. Noah realized that kindness was spreading far beyond anything he had imagined. Several years later, his mother passed away peacefully. Before her death, she held Noah's hand and whispered, "I am proud of the man you became." Those words meant more to Noah than any award he had ever received. After the funeral, he sat alone looking at old family photographs. For the first time in years, he cried openly. He missed his mother deeply. But he also felt grateful. She had sacrificed everything for him. Her love had carried him through the darkest moments of his life. That night, Noah made another promise. He would continue helping people for as long as he lived. The years continued to pass. The foundation grew larger. Thousands of volunteers joined the mission. Schools, shelters, and community centers were opened throughout the country. One day, while visiting a graduation ceremony sponsored by the foundation, Noah saw a familiar face walking across the stage. It was Jacob, the same little boy he had met outside the shelter years earlier. Jacob had graduated with honors. When the ceremony ended, he rushed toward Noah. "Remember me?" he asked with a smile. Noah laughed. "Of course I do." Jacob's eyes filled with tears. "You changed my life." Noah shook his head. "No, someone changed mine first. I was only passing the kindness forward." Jacob reached into his pocket and handed Noah a small card. On it were written simple words. "Because someone helped me, I will help others." Noah stared at the card and smiled. The chain of kindness was continuing. Years later, as Noah grew older, he often reflected on his journey. From a hungry boy standing outside a bakery to a man helping thousands of families, the path had been long and difficult. But every step had begun with one small act of compassion. One evening, while watching the sunset from his office window, Noah looked at the framed note left by the elderly woman. He read it once again. "Kindness is like a seed. You may never see where it grows, but one day it becomes a forest. He smiled. Outside his window, thousands of lives were proof that her words were true. And somewhere in the world, another hungry child, another struggling family, and another hopeful dreamer would find help because one person had chosen kindness many years ago. The forest continued to grow, one act of love at a time. Red Heart Wilted Flower.